Now, I was going to make a different video, but it was too long, and to be fair, I don't want to really touch that topic again that it was going to be about, so we're going to talk about vegans instead, because this particular story, honestly, writes itself. I mean, let's be fair, this seems to be a pattern amongst vegan activists. They try to save animals, but in the process, they kill more than they're actually saving, and in fact, a lot of their so-called proposals in order to save animals would actually cause the deaths of billions of them, because those of you who don't know, a lot of vegans don't agree with factory farming, or even really farming in general, because, they don't like eating animal products. They consider eating even things like cheese and milk to be something that is immoral. They don't like that, so they want to end all of husbandry entirely. But this would mean all these farmers would have to let go of all of these tamed, domesticated animals that have never known what the wild is like for the past several thousand years. Basically, they would die. Either they would die because they're too stupid to survive, or the many genetic defects that we have bred into them to stop them from escaping, or to get a certain amount of meat or wool or whatever, will kill them, or they will just die because we're not there for them. Or we might have to be forced to kill them because they will cause ecological damage to all other ecosystems that have not had these animals in them, again, for thousands and thousands of years. So not only would these animals potentially die, but so could other animals potentially die because of the imbalance in the ecosystems. But that's just the hypothetical. Here is actual activism causing the deaths of animals. And we've seen this before. PETA have been exposed for euthanizing animals that they've captured and have tried to free. They think that kidnapping animals is freeing these animals, but most of these animals end up getting killed. And there was once a pet dog that had not been abused or anything like that. This little puppy, or it might have been fully grown, it doesn't really matter. This dog was captured by PETA from his owners, and they had to end up killing the dog because they didn't have any, I think it's usually to do with storage. They don't have enough storage to house any of these animals that they capture. So rather than just, give them to another shelter that has the room, just euthanize them, because apparently it's easier to kill these dogs and cats and rabbits and other animals than it is to perhaps send them to another place. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What is PETA's actual motives if not to change how human beings act as opposed to save animals? But that's just PETA. Here are some other more plebeian vegan activists, and you've probably heard this story before. There was this woman who's gone viral for being assaulted whilst trying to save rabbits in Spain. Basically, there was this rabbit farm where they obviously breed rabbits, and I don't know why they breed the rabbits there. I don't know. It's either for pets, food, or maybe even medical research. Maybe it's just for that farm's own subsistence. There's nothing wrong with that. It's something that rabbits have always been bred for, primarily food. They've been bred in farms like this, first by the church, then later on by normal people. This is something that we've always done. Later on in human history, did rabbits then become the pets that we all know and love? Before that, they were just a source of food. This is normal. This is literally the natural order of things. The human has evolved to hunt and kill the rabbit, and the rabbit is meant to run away from the human or be a nice snuggly pet. That's literally what it is. So these vegans, one of them apparently was British. She sounded very British by the sound of it. She wasn't Spanish.
This is what has just happened to us. Look, I'm documenting the whole thing. I'm covered in blood. Because look at this is what the farmers have done. They shot through our window and chased us down the motorway. Oh my god, I'm literally covered in blood.
They broke into this farm's property, obviously got into some kind of commotion with said farmers, and got off with 16 rabbits. They stole, this is what they did, they stole rabbits, there is no going about this, but in the process killed 100 baby rabbits. Yes, you see, 5 of these rabbits were females. For those of you who don't know, I mean, it's kind of obvious by the term breeding like rabbits. Rabbits have a lot of children, lots of them, and they're actually very defenseless little things. They're kind of a little bit like baby humans in a way. They're born blind and they can't really move a lot, and they just have the mother's milk, and eventually they grow fast enough anyway to hop around and do what rabbits do, basically. And these rabbits, unfortunately, were pregnant, and in the commotion, a lot of them either were killed, thus the babies also died, or the mothers were so badly injured or something else happened that they had to have abortions. The vegans unintentionally killed these baby rabbits when they tried to free them and have done more damage than they intended. And this is what seems to happen a lot. They cause more damage than they intend to. And most recently, another activist, or at least somebody who is a vegan, was in Morocco and assaulted a person who was selling chickens in a market, because apparently this is such a terrible thing. This is such a horrible, unknown thing that merchants in third world countries sell chickens in cages. How else are you going to buy a live chicken? Some of these places in the world don't have the health and safety rules that we have, and they're still pretty much old-fashioned when it comes to rearing and selling animals. Now, as far as I'm aware, I don't know if the chickens were actually being harmed by this. I mean, we put animals in cages, very small cages, all the time, especially when we need to take them to the vets. She bit this man's hand because she was trying to free the chickens. She was destroying this man's property. It just shows what fools these vegan activists are. They just are total and utter fools. They have no idea what they're actually doing, do they? And Peter obviously do know, but these grassroots ones haven't got a clue. They couldn't even be bothered to, I don't know, buy the rabbits. You know, the rabbits are available for a price. If you buy the rabbits, if you compensate these farmers, you can buy the rabbits and free them in a field somewhere. Although, that would have the knock-on effect again on the ecosystem and also on other farmers, because unfortunately, rabbits can be pests. They're not necessarily pests, but they can be pests. Whether that's eating people's food, or destroying plant life, or destroying the soil through digging, because rabbits live underground, and if they have phantom pregnancies, the female rabbits, they will dig incessantly, unless they are not neutered. How do I know this? I used to have a female rabbit myself, and this is why I'm also covering this story, because I like rabbits, and I don't like vegan activists that don't know what they're doing, and they're messing with things that they don't understand, and destroying people's property, and killing innocent animals that, as far as we're aware, weren't actually being abused at all. These were just innocent farmers, as far as I am aware, who've done nothing wrong but rear rabbits. Perhaps it would be best if these rabbits were either, I don't know, culled for food, or at the very least sold to another person to be a pet, because it seems to me they would have had a better life than having to be forced abortions, or be put down, or die at the hands of an idiot who thought they were saving the rabbits, when actually they were endangering them, because, truth be told, they don't know anything about animals and the industry that deals with animals, and because they're vegans, they think they do, and therefore that they're more morally better than everybody else, when actually, no, you're not morally better than anybody else. You just have a different set of morals, and unfortunately for us, a lot of you, and it almost veers on the majority, simply have no qualms with treating the rest of us with disdain, and actually putting a lot of people and yourselves and animals at risk for your own ideology, because you want to force it on everybody else. Well, I'm sorry, but the more these things happen, the more that you lot clamour for this, the less people are going to be interested in your ideology and the benefits, if there are any, of the vegan diet. I'm sorry, but this is not how you go about these things. Literally, if they'd pulled their resources together, if they'd managed to get a Kickstarter going to buy all these rabbits, I'm sure they could have convinced the farmers to sell these rabbits. I'm sure the farmers would have been delighted to make a killing off these rabbits. There was a peaceful way to free these rabbits, but unfortunately, you chose not to do that. You chose to go in there and commit theft in the name of your ideology. As you lot usually, you people seem to always attract these kind of activists. There's just something about these eco-terrorists that just makes me think that they see violence and coercion and breaking the law as the first thing to do, as opposed to try the peaceful way. But again, maybe these people aren't capitalists and don't agree with buying animals. Well, unfortunately, I don't see you guys having any bread to trade with these farmers. But anyway, guys, that's all I have to say about this. Typical vegan foolishness. I don't usually get sad when it comes to animals, but because I used to have a rabbit, and I like rabbits, I think they're cute, and they're actually the best pets anybody could possibly have, and I recommend the rabbit. Just so you know, they do come with baggage, as most pets do. I was saddened by this, because these were baby rabbits that died. These were rabbits that could have had children. These rabbits were probably safer in the farm. Their very, very short lives were cut short by these idiots who thought they were saving them. It really is a textbook. The path to ruin is laid with good intentions. And I'll leave it at that. See you later, guys.